Okay. Hey there, thanks for joining me to color. Today we are going to be working on this adorable Whimsy Stamps image called Penguin and Bear. Isn't he super cute? I will put a link down in the description box to the card kit if you want to head over and pick him up. There's still a couple of these available over there in the store. So I'm going to give everybody a couple of minutes to see if they're going to come and play today. Okay. All right. So we're going to work on that. But while we're waiting, I'm going to I got a couple of Christmas cards in the mail. So I was going to show you my Christmas cards that I received. I love receiving things in the mail. So this cutie here, little shaker card, was sent to me by Betty. Isn't it adorable? Thank you, Betty. I love it. I'm going to hang it on my wall with all my other Christmas stuff. Very cute. And then this one I got from my friend Brenda. It's got a snowman on there and some rhinestones and a bunch of sparkles. I love it. And Brenda's always sending me fabulous Christmas cards. Thank you, Brenda. I love them. She's got a whole wall of Christmas cards. They're cards that she sends me all the time. She's really good. I'm terrible at sending cards, but Brenda always remembers to send me one. Thank you, Brenda. And then Trish sent me this cutie. Look at this. It's got the little elves on there. And look, when you open it. Whoops, I opened it the wrong way. Sorry. You open it like this. It says fa la 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 la. Isn't it adorable? I love it. You can set it up a little like a screen. I'm going to hang it on my refrigerator. It's adorable. Love it. Thank you, Trish. Little elves. I love those little elves. All right, so that was my Christmas card stash. So, have a little announcement too before I forget. I have decided, since Lexi's going to be out of school for the next couple of weeks, instead of stressing about doing live stream and having class, that I'm just not going to have class. So, our next live stream is going to be January 4th in the new year. And we're going to do Bible journaling at 9, and then we're going to do coloring at 10:30. So that's my plan for the new year. And if I have time to do videos during the daytime, I'm just going to shoot some and stick them up on the channel so I don't have to worry about being live and having her run in and out. Also, I'm going to have a sale of 25% off everything until the end of the year. So until 12/31, you can save 25% by using coupon code SAVE25 in the coupon bar. All right, so let's go ahead and get our stuff out. And we will get started. So I got my card kit here. So let's go ahead and get out our penguins. And my directions. I don't know what I did with those. Oh, here they are. Helps if you know what you're going to be using to color with. Okay, let's go ahead and go down. Okay, so we're going to start. I'm going to try something new for the background today. So I'm going to use B000. And then what I've done is I got me a water brush. And I filled the water brush with just plain Copic blender solution, and there's never been water in this brush. It was brand new. I never put water in there. You don't want to have one that has water in there. So I've marked it here so I know that this one has Copic blender solution. And just for me, I also wrote on the side because sometimes I forget why this tape's on here. So that's what's in here, and I'm only going to use it for Copic blender solution. And then when I store it, I'm going to store it up like straight so that the blender solution goes down in the bottle and it doesn't come up here and mess with any of this stuff in the lid. So that's my plan, because I don't know what it will do to this plastic and stuff up in this thing. So it's best to just store it upright like this so that all the solution's in the bottom. All right, so we're going to do something. I don't know. All right, so we're going to start out with B000, and I'm going to add some blue to the outside. And what do I do with my card? I don't know. It's buried underneath all this stuff. My announcements. So I'm going to say he's going to have grass that comes back here to his foot. So let's go ahead and do blue right along this flower first. Like this. Oops. Okay, so then I always when I'm doing my lines, let's go ahead and keep all of our lines so that they go straight out. That way we don't have to worry about having any weird funky lines in there. So I'm just going to sit down my brush and I'm just going to streak out this way. And if I get a little bit on my little guys here, that'll be easier to erase if we do all of this first. And then I'm going to flip him around so I can flick away. So we're just going to go like this. Try not to color that butterfly. Like this. Okay, and then we're going to use G12 for the grass. So I got a little patch right here, so I'm going to go ahead and fill this in. And then we're going to go over the top of his foot. And remember, try to keep your lines going in the same direction. So let's go over here, and there's a little patch right here. And then I'm going to turn my guy so I can flick away. I tend to do best when I'm going to the right. May work best for you if you're left-handed to go to the left. Okay, now I'm going to take my colorless blender, and if I got any on my stuff here, I'm going to go ahead and take that off now. Even though I think this blue will be okay because it's pretty light. But like this green on his foot, we're going to color him white, so let's go ahead and see if we can get rid of a little bit of that. All right, then we're going to take our colorless blender, and I'm just going to make some circles. So I don't give it a squeeze or anything like that, at least I'm going to try not to. And I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to make some circles. And they're not touching. And we're going to go all the way around. Remember, it kind of spreads out too, so you want to make sure to leave a little bit of space in between your circles. Okay, so we went all the way around. So now I'm going to go ahead. Hi, Sue. Thanks for joining me. Now I'm going to go ahead and do all the way around again. So I'm going to try to hit in the spaces that I didn't have the circles before. And they're still pretty big circles. So we're going to try to go in between the circles I already made. And it's just moving that ink that I put down around all over the place. But if you go all the way around and then you come back, it's dried. So you can kind of mush it around a little bit differently. And it gives it a funny little background. I'm kind of liking it. Something new. Thought we could try something different. I learned this from one of the classes or one of the Patreon people I follow. I'm like, oh, that's neat. So I thought we could give it a try. And this brush is a Tim Holtz Distress Water Brush. Okay, so I went all the way around again. Now I'm going to go around and I'm just going to do smaller dots. So I'm just going to go dab, 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 dab. And you can go around as many times as you like. You could do the bigger circles multiple times too. I'm going to go around one more time. And then, remember, put your pen, store it up like straight up and down. And then we're going to take G82. And we are going to add that for some grass down here on the bottom, as long as we got it out. So there's already some little grass streaks down here at his foot. So I'm going to go ahead and go over those. Let's put a few up here. And then, as long as we got this out, let's go ahead and do the stems of our flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and do the stem of this one. And then I'm going to do a little bit on the leaves. And then for this one over here, again, we're going to do the stem a little bit. And the leaf. And then we're going to take G12 and fill that in. Like so. Hi Linda, thanks for joining me. Hi Trish. It's having a moment. Oh, it's having a hard time? Oh, that's no good. Okay, let's do, since I'm on the flowers, let's go ahead and do these blue flowers down here. So for that, we're going to use B37, 34, and 21. Thank you for the Christmas card, Trish. I love it. I showed everybody at the front of the video if you weren't here. So we're going to do B37 first. I'm going to go ahead and just do a little dab on each center. Then we will add B34. Same thing, just going to add a little bit more. So if you girls give that background a try, let me know. I want to know how it worked out. Something new. I thought we could try it. Makes it look really cool. And then we'll fill it in with our B21. Oops. Let's hop up here and we'll do this little butterfly too. So for that, we're going to use Y08 and Y04. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for joining me. So we're going to do Y08 first. I'm going to go with just a little dab in each one of the centers of his wings. Oh, and this little flower right here. Let's do the center of the little flower. So I'm going to do the bottom half. And then we'll do Y04 to fill it in. The butterfly's got a little bit of blue on his wing. And for the other flowers, let's do W1. And I'm not going to do anything too, whoops, let's do the other side. I'm not going to do anything too fancy with that. I'm just going to give this one a little bit right next to the center. I should have colored that. I'll probably come back with that. And then a little bit down here at the bottom. I'm going to add a little dab in here where it's got a separate petal. And then for this one, I'm just going to flick away from the center of my flower. And then leave the outsides white. And let's take our G82 and fill in the top of this stem right here. I forgot that. That makes him look cute. Okay, so now let's move on to our penguin. So for that, we're going to need 9-7 or N9751. 1. And we're going to need V20. And then 1 and 0. And this. See if I can fit them all on my hand here. So we're going to need all of these. So we're going to need N97510 V20 and the colorless blender. And we're going to start with N9. So let's go ahead and let's do the foot pads on the bear first. How about that? So I'm going to go with my N9 right up where his pad touches the other pad and along the bottom. That one's going to be pretty much colored in with the next color, but we want to give it a little bit of a lighter color there in the center. Same thing with this one. Let's go right along that fur where his other pad touches the other one. And then right along, whoops, along the edge there. I made his pad too big. Let's see if we can fix that. Close enough. Okay. Same for this one. I'm going to bring this side up just a little bit more. And then along this little edge. And for this foot pad, let's go around the outside. And then I'm going to bring it up about 1/4 of the way. I'm going to go around that flower. And then we'll add N7. So this little one over here I'm going to color in. This one I'm going to give a little dab. And this one will give a little dab. And this one, let's go right along this edge just a little bit. And then we're going to bring this up about halfway. Hi, Olivia. Thanks for joining me. Then we'll go with N5. So I'm going to go ahead and color this one in. I'm going to go over this one even though I already colored it in. And then we're going to color in this one. And this one, we want to go, I'm going to try to soften this edge right here just a tiny, tiny bit. But then I want to leave a white streak. So I'm going to go like this. And then I'm going to go over that with my N1. I'm going to do this big one a little bit, and then that'll make it have a little bit of a shiny spot there in the middle. Then we're going to hop over here and we're going to do the other side. So let's go over here and do N9 again. I'm not having a problem on my screen, Sue, with it blurring up or looking fuzzy. Is anybody else having a problem with it buffering? Maybe it's because I get too close to this camera. I'll try to hold my hand more to the side. Okay, so we're going to go with our N9. And let's do, for this one, we're going to go around the outside. It probably does that when I'm not looking up. I could be holding my hand too far into the focus zone. So we'll try holding it over here a little bit more. And then we'll go with N7. And then we'll go with N5. And for this one, I'm going to leave that little white patch. And then we'll fill that little white patch in with our N1. We'll go with, see, that's funny. Then we'll go with N9. So let's go ahead and do his nose. So I'm going to outline his nose, and we want to make sure to leave that white patch across the top. Go right like this. I'm trying to just use the very, very tip and hardly touch that paper because this is really dark. So it's, if you get it out of the line, you're not going to fix that. Then we're going to go with N7. Okay, and I'm going to do, let's do a little, very little dab here at the top. Just soften it just a little bit. And then I'm going to bring this up, almost filling in all those little dots that are there on his nose. I'm going to leave our white line. My white line got a little wonky there. Oops, I almost colored the page. And then we'll do W, our N1 for the nose right here. I gotta go back with N5 again. Smooth that out a little bit. You can also go back with your white gel pen and add that little white stripe there later if you colored it in on accident. Olivia, I did the background with the Copic markers. I colored it first with the Copic markers, and then I took a water brush filled with Copic solution and added some dots. Okay, so let's hop up here. It was really fun. I hadn't tried it before. Let's go up here and we'll do our little penguin. And we're going to do N9. One of the people I follow over on Patreon was doing it, and so I thought we'd try it out. It makes a really interesting background. I don't know if you can see it very good on camera, but it's got like some little dots and kind of iffy out there. It looks really cool. Okay, so N9 for our penguin. Let's go up here and start on his face first, because that's seems like a good place. So I'm going to do my N9. Let's see if I can turn my hand a little bit more so it's not in the focus zone. Okay, we'll go up like that. And then right here, this little tiny spot, I'm going to bring that up here to where the little dots stop. And then right here, it kind of curves back in, so I'm going to add some right here. But I want to also bring this right next to his face. So I'm going to do just a little line right there. And I want to bring this line up over the top of his eye, his mask. Then we're going to do this side. It's really dinky right there, so be careful. I'll bring that up. Over his eye. And then on this side, he's also got this little line right here, so I'm going to go right here. And then I'm going to bring this up and around the top of his head. And then we're going to do N. So next we're going to do this one. So I'm going to bring it up a little bit more. So the N's, the colors of gray, and it goes C is for cool gray, W is for warm gray, N is for neutral gray, and then the T's are toner grays. So the cool grays are kind of, I should have brought my color chart in here. I could show you the difference between the colors. Maybe Mr. HeathersHobbieHaven and go find it. I don't know if he's, it doesn't say he's online, so I don't know what he's doing down there. Maybe he's down there. Maybe I'll go in my room and find it. But the cool grays are kind of, to me, I use the cool grays the most. I like those colors the most. And I like the warm grays the most. The warm grays to me look like dirt. They're kind of dirty. So they're not quite as crisp, I guess. I like them for like Halloween images. Like this guy, I wanted him to really be black. So that's why I picked the neutral one, so that he could be really black. Okay, and we're going to give him a little white shiny spot. Mr. HeathersHobbieHaven's in the room trying to find the color chart now. He was evidently listening. He's going to come ask me where it is in a minute. Okay, so let's do, oh, not this. Let's do his head. I want it to be a little bit darker up here, so I'm going to grab W or N7. And I'm going to brush it. Like this. We're going to take up a little bit more of that space. I don't want it to be that light. Let's see if we can straighten this up so it's not so crooked. Like that. Okay, let me tell him where the chart is real quick. Honey, it's right beside my computer screen with the stack of bills. All right, we're going to start with N9 again. And then let's do this side over here. And I'm trying to just use very minimal amount because, like I said, this is really dark. Oh, he must have found it. Yep, that's it. Thanks. So we're going to go right next to his little white belly because we definitely want to see that part. So we're going to go like this. And I'm going to do over the top of his arm. And I'm trying to get just a little dinky line. Let's go ahead and do this side too. So I'm barely touching that paper to get that little dinky line. Because remember, the minute your pen touches the paper, it's sucking up that ink. So the longer you leave it sit there, the wider that line's going to get. And since his arm's over here, this is going to be pretty dark, so we're going to bring that up a little bit more. We're going to cover most of that up. Okay, now we're going to go with N7. And it looks like the YouTube feed's having a problem over here. It's buffering for me too now. So if you see that happening, it's doing it to me. Maybe they're having an issue today because the Facebook side looks awesome and it hardly ever does. Whoops, right here. There's a little bitty spot right there. And I'm going to go with N5. Okay, I'm going to try to leave this side. It's going to have a little shiny patch again. So let's go this. And then we'll bring it over. Oops, my shiny patch got kind of small there. And let's give his body a little bit on this side, maybe. And then we'll take the N1 and do that little shiny patch. I'm not liking this side over here. Let's fix this. He just needs to be blacker. Right here. That was driving me crazy. I had to fix that. Okay, then we'll add another little dab of our N5. And then a little dab of N1. Like that. Okay, so let's take a break to look at the color chart here with our ends. So for ends, here you got the W's, and see how they look kind of a brownish gray, I guess. So to me, they look dirty. And then you've got the ends, which we're using, which are really great for the penguin. And then you got the T's, which are also, they got kind of a grayish or a brownish, a little bit less than the W's, but a little bit of a brown tint to them too. And I need to redo this chart because it's really old. And then the C's over here are more like metal. So that's the difference. And you don't need all of those. If you're collecting Copics, I use the W's and the C's the most, but I would just pick one that you like the colors of the best and get those. That's my suggestion. All right, so we're going to move on to the little penguin guy's body. We're going to start with V20. And I'm going to add that where I want to have a little bit of shadow. So let's go underneath of his face. His belly. And I'm going to do under his chin here. And then down here on his belly. And then we're going to add N1. And for N1, I'm going to go right over the top of that. Got a little bit maybe up here on his eye. And then we'll do N0. I'm going to go all the way around the outside. And then I'm going to take my colorless blender and I'm going to go right over the inside here and try to soften those edges. But I'm going to try not to get it on my black because that will make a big mess. So try to keep it contained to his stomach. Okay, then we're going to go and we're going to do his beak. So for that, we're going to use YR 18, 14, and 12. Let's start with our YR 18. And I'm going to go ahead and do his bottom beak. And then for his little foot down here, let's do this bottom foot. And then I'm going to kind of go between this one because it's touching that one. I'll go like this. And then I'm going to go underneath where his foot is touching the bottom of his foot. And then we're going to bring this around over here. And then for this side, we're going to do this crease. And we want to go over the top of our bear, or the bottom of his foot. And then we'll add YR 14. And then we'll fill it in with our YR12. Oh, we better do his little cheeks too. I forgot those. So let's do our 20 and 30. So let's give him a little bit of pink here on his cheek. And then we'll soften it with R30. Then I'm going to go over that with my colorless blender just a little bit. Kind of around the edges. That's a good idea. You can use your, Linda, you can use your Shinhan markers if you already have those with the Copic, so that would be perfect. And they're almost the same color, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, so we're going to move on to our little bear. So we're going to need V20. And where'd it go? I lost my space. W2, 1, 0, and 00. So we are going to need, there are so many pretty Copic colors out there. It's hard to pick. So we're going to use these next. So V20, W2, W1, W0, W00. All right, so we're going to start with V20 for our little bear. And let's do, we want to do that where we want to have some shadows. So let's start over here on this side. And I'm going to add a little bit to his foot. And then right in here where it's really going to be mushed down, put some in there. Go underneath of our penguin. Work our way around over here, add a little bit in here. Let's see, his face is kind of dragging here, so let's give that a little color. Where his leg is touching the grass. And then for his face, let's go around his hand a little bit. And then let's do, nope, we're not gonna do any in there. Okay, I'm gonna go over all of that with W2. So we're going to go right over the top of V20. That was just to add a little bit of color in there, make it a little bit darker without having to use a really dark gray. And I'm going a little bit past where I put the V20. And I didn't put any on this side, so let's go around his foot all the way. And I think I'm going to add a little bit of this right here. And then we're going to bring this kind of around on the outside of this little fur right here. And how about a little dab in these ears? Let's start with that. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to add W1. And his face. Let's give him a little calic right here. Little part. Then we'll add W0. I'm trying to keep his fur going kind of in the round of his face. And W00. You don't have to fill it all the way in, you can. I'm just going to add some little streaks in here. I'm going to go back with W2 and just add a little bit of that. I'm going to try to keep my lines a little bit smaller so they look more streaky. Let's add a little dab of W1 too. And there he is. Isn't he cute? adorable. So let's go ahead and see about putting our stuff together. Let's go up. All right, so we've got all this great stuff in here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put him on here. Oh, I didn't bring my tape runner. Okay, let's use this today. Okay, so we're going to put some glue on here. And then I always make sure that my card is opening the perfect direction, however I want it. And this black piece is first. And I have it set cattywampus. So like so. Next comes these little flowers, or you could use this side with the wood on the other side. Part of the paper had some hearts on it, so you may or may not get the hearts on there. Oops. And this piece, and there's some words on there, so if you care if those are upside down, make sure to watch that. And I don't mixing warm and cool grays. I don't usually mix them, but you could. I just find that if you want, because there's such a different tone of gray, that I usually just keep one family with the other, with the family it goes with. Because cool gray is has a completely different look than the warm gray. So if you wanted to maybe do the whole thing in cool gray and then maybe add like one of the warm grays over the top, a light one, to give it that a little bit more not quite so brassy look, you could add that to make it a little toned down. And this piece is like this. Then we'll glue this one on, and he's not popped up this time. And I have him set kind of like this. Uh-oh, I get on my card right here. That's no good. Oh, I made it worse. Well, we'll just take my little eraser tool to that later, and I'll fix that. Okay, so we have these little leaves here. So for these little leaves, I put a little bit of some distress ink on them to give them some color. And this is antique linen. I didn't do anything fancy. I'm just going to scruff up the edges. They just looked a little too green when I stuck them next to my bear. So easy that was. Okay, so we got a smaller leaf and a larger leaf, so you can decide how you want to put those. I'm going to Maybe I'm going to put my leaves on this side today because I've got that big blob right there. And then we could do hugs over here. How about that? So on my card, the original card, they were over here. But since I've got whatever this is, I don't know what that is, I'm going to just move my leaves around. That will take care of that. I must have had some glue or some ink on my finger. Then let's put the center onto these flowers. So the centers, you've got a larger one and a little bit smaller one. Then for this little word here, I popped it up. So what I do when I do that is I save all these little edges for my pop dots. And I pop them, I use this little extra pieces here. The side pieces, these little dinky ones here on the end for words. Because they're perfect for putting on the back of this. Oops, got some gunk on there. Let's pick that off. So easy that makes it with the little skinny pieces. I'm constantly saving this little wrapper because I'm like, oh, that'd be perfect for words. And let's see if we can put a little dab right here. Whoops. Okay, and then the hard part is peeling the paper off. I must say, when you buy the sticky tape, the foam tape on a roll, it's much nicer to peel this tape off because it's such a big piece. Okay, and then we're going to go like this. And I fixed my little boo-boo, and it looks beautiful. But see how that background looks all dotty up there? It's really pretty. So you could add some white or some Spica glitter pen to make some sparkles on here. I didn't do that this time, but you could put some sparkles on there. But that is our card today. Oh, too, I was going to show you that I was trying them out. So this one is I colored with Copics, and then I went over the top with some colored pencils to add some detail, just to play around. And then I also tried doing it with just colored pencils. I'm not loving this one as much, so I'm thinking maybe I need to go over it with some Gamma-Sol and blend it in. I think just because it's not as black as I like. So I either need to rub harder with the pencil. I'm not very good with pencils, so I have to practice a little bit more, but that is pencils. So that is that. So don't forget, girls, if you want to head over to the store, you can use the coupon code SAVE25 until the end of the year and save 25% on your orders over there. That's good on everything. Make sure to check the clearance section because there's a bunch of stuff in there. So you can also receive half off, that it's already half off, so you can save another 25% on everything over there. Or you can pick up this card kit too if you didn't have a chance to pick it up. There's still a couple of those left if you want to pick that up. Otherwise, I hope you girls are all having a fabulous Christmas the Christmas season, and a Happy New Year. And the next live stream will be January 4th. So we'll be coloring in the new year, January 4th at 10:30 a.m. But I'll be doing other things, hopefully, during the week to add to the channel and to the blog. So make sure to stop by over there. So you guys all have a great year, or a great end of the year, and I'll see you next year. Bye-bye. Mm-hmm.